Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Ladies of Sosa podcast. My name is Sahra.
And my name is Christine. And today we're going to get into age, power, and dating double standards. It's going to be a spicy one.
Yes.
A lot has been happening. We're going to talk about Shannon Sharpe.
Yes.
We're going to talk about Mo'Nique, Tracee Ellis Ross, age gap relationships, and a whole bunch of other things. With a special feature at the end, we have Holly, our girl, who's going to talk to us about budgeting, savings plan, legacy building, emergency funds, and all things money. So without further ado,
let's go ahead and introduce our panel. Can we start with the lovely Janet?
Yeah. Hey everyone, Janet here. Happy to be a part of another episode and excited to get into today's topics.
Let's do it. Let's take it to the guys on the couch.
What's up, y'all? Money Man Dan, Eric comedian, good friend of y'all. So.
Manuel Angor, South Sudanese comedian. I'm not a friend.
Friend of the show, looking at. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Vaida.
Hey y'all, it's Vaida. You can find me on Instagram at VaidaJoe.
And last but not least, Holly.
Hey everybody, my name is Holly. You can find me on all platforms, Miss Honey Holly, MSHoneyHolly.
Holly just got back from Spain.
I
too.
know. Look, you do got the glow, girl.
You look different, sis.
Yeah,
I feel like you look different.
You look like
how do you
vacation.
feel? How was Spain?
I feel great. Spain was amazing. It was wonderful just to experience different cultures. So I love it.
How was the food?
It was mid. It was mid. The wine was great. It was only like $250 USD per glass. So it was really good.
Well, me and Holly talked on the phone. We kept it real. She said she was like, it was a lot of architecture. And and it was more for I'll let you speak in your own words, but it was not like, it's not for like the younger generation.
Maybe a little overhyped. Like, not how you imagine it to be.
Yeah. So first off, I wasn't dressed for the weather. I'm thinking like, honestly, like Caribbean weather, and it wasn't. It was really cold. But that was number one. That was my fault. But it was definitely more of just kind of like sit and then just look cute and eat some food.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of it for the most part. And then, I mean, the buildings are beautiful. Like I said, there's a lot of culture and everything there. But yeah, it's not like a party type of place. Now, they do have clubs that we went to a club. It closed at like 6 a.m. in Barcelona. So that was pretty fun. Barcelona and Valencia was my favorite for sure.
Yeah, because I want to go to Spain, so I
Barcelona.
wanted to hear. Yeah, Barcelona is the vibe. Okay, well, let us know in the comments if y'all have ever been to
Yeah.
Spain. But let's go ahead and get into the topic. So Shannon Sharpe has been trending lately, as you guys have all known. Yes,
After the whole
again.
Michelle escapade.
Right. And so this time he's trending for similar reasons. Still
$50 million.
provocative. Right. He's okay. Let's get to the point. He's getting sued for $50 million.
Right.
By a young ladies who works for OnlyFans. She's
Emphasis
an
on
OnlyFans
the
girl.
young.
Yes, very young, 19 years old.
She's an
And at the
independent
time-
contractor.
She's an independent
Okay.
contractor.
Ten
Yeah,
99.
listen, we're not
That's
shaming her
wild.
work over here. We're just spitting the facts. But she's an independent contractor for OnlyFans. And she's suing Shannon Sharpe for $50 million for sexual abuse. Sexual abuse, RAPE. I don't know if we can say it on YouTube for our restrictions. And a slew of other reasons.
And to frame this conversation accurately, I will say that it is alleged that he did offer $10 million and she declined it.
Yes.
And then she came out with the $50 million lawsuit. Correct me if I'm wrong, because
yes,
not
that's
exactly
true.
sure.
No, that's true.
But I feel like it's also context is important on basically what we were privy to, which is like the text messages and him saying in a voice recording that he was going to choke her.
Yes. So I guess in a way, people view it in different ways. Some people see it as a shakedown, which is Shannon Sharpe's position. He feels like he's being exploited and that everything that happened between both of them was consensual. She and her lawyers are framing it in a way that it was non-consensual and that it's essentially sexual assault. And so she's suing him for damages. And so the whole conversation right now is going different ways. A lot of people are criticizing the young woman who's 19 years old.
At the time.
At the time of the
that they
these
started
events.
dating or that he met her.
Yeah,
But she's
right
not
now
19
she's like
right now.
Yeah. So they're criticizing her, saying that she's trying to like just exploit him for money.
After he just apparently he was like
He just
doing
signed a
big
deal
or something.
Oh, he signed a huge podcast deal. I think it was for $100 million, and then they're asking for 50. So they asking for half of your deal.
Well, they haven't inked a deal yet. They're in the middle of like
No, I think
contract negotiations.
I thought they signed up. I thought they signed it like $100 million in the next day.
They said that's what he was
out.
asking for during our negotiations, and yeah, the timing might be suspicious, but at the same time, it's like, Shannon, this isn't your first time being allegedly involved in something.
Well, we just wanted to kind of
Can we
frame
give his age too?
Yeah,
just to frame everything. I think he was 50.
He's 56 right now.
56,
Yeah, I was gonna say he's a little bit under than 60. Yeah. So, and then that's a lot of people's critique as well, is that regardless, like, she's way too young for you, and so. There's just been a lot of dialogue about this situation. Some people believe it's a shakedown. Some people feel like he's dead ass wrong. And some people think that they're trying to take another black man down. And so we just kind of want to explore that and maybe give a lesson to young men out there, especially men who are in positions of power, who are about to be like the next Shannon, that can make money, be the next Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe is like an influence for a lot of young men because he's the guy that made it.
Football, yeah. Now he has his podcast.
Yeah, and his content is very wholesome. It's fun. He's funny. He's like an uncle.
Say wholesome.
Okay, maybe not wholesome, but he's funny.
He's funny,
and so a lot of people are disappointed. So I want to get. Should we get first thoughts, initial thoughts?
Yeah, I want to hear Amanual.
Yeah. Let's hear from
What
men.
were you thinking when the whole Shannon Sharpe debacle dropped on social media? You get the video, the pictures of the OnlyFans girl. Or not the video, the audio.
Are we going funny or are we going like serious first?
Go
like,
both.
That's the real conversation.
Just be you.
But initially, I was like, that's a nasty boy. That's
very.
Katt Williams and Mo'Nique both warned your black ass, and you ain't listened to none of it. And I think
now look at you.
Even like the inferring that Katt did early on, because if you look at the clip, Katt talks about older men with these young girls.
Get with a white woman because I was scared she might have me running down the street like Jonathan Majors.
There you go. See, come on, Katt.
Not because I didn't like white women. I think white women are as great as any other women. But I'm not going to act like I'm not scared of them. I have a reason to be scared. You could be Kang the Conqueror, and they could take your rabbit ass down in 2 weekends. And that's the truth of the matter. So I stayed away from that.
You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl.
I do.
This is your auntie talking to you. Take your ass and get you an old bitch out there that can love you old. You're trying to hang out with these young bitches, and you can't do it, Shannon. You just can't do it.
And Shannon even critiqued what's my brother's name, Ashley Larry from the Chappelle Show. He critiqued him for his relationship with his 24-year-old significant other who had his child.
Right.
And so he was like, the age gap is insane. Knowing damn well you were doing that behind the scenes.
20. She 23. Darnell. 20. Why you didn't date her mom? Why you go for the Darnell? If you don't, love is love. I agree with you. What? You like them young, though. Say Drake, I heard you. Nope. Don't do that. I don't like them young. I like what I love. You know what? I'm just trying to figure out that. I mean, where you meet this 23-year-old at? Because I mean, hey, 23, I think I'm a couple of years older than you. I go 33. So I just need to know. 23, 33, they're probably in the same area.
It's kind of just hypocritical, to just say the least. And this being your third time in a situation like this, dog.
Yeah.
Allegedly, you know what I'm saying?
At 56 years old.
Because Michelle's suing him too, so.
No, not Michelle from the video, from the live stream. Oh my gosh.
Not Michelle from the live stream, but we don't know if it's that specific Michelle, but a woman by the name of Michelle is suing him.
He just like girls.
So Michelle is real, because a lot of people were speculating that could have been like a setup that he did to kind of.
It still could have been a setup.
Yeah.
Her name was Michelle.
But he did it intentionally.
That's what I heard.
At the end of the day, this is one of those situations where like you do the rooster. I mean, what's called comes home to roost. What's done in the dark.
Yep.
Like, dog, you got to understand what you're at and what you're doing. And, like, sometimes, look, when you sick and you got a little nasty streak, Once you get money, you're gonna be more of who you've always been.
Ooh.
So with the Shannon situation, it's like, look, when we go to court and we see the actual rest of this, and we get to know what he's really doing, it might be a wrap for the ESPN deal.
I really hope it doesn't go that far.
I think it's a
Oh,
wrap
no,
for
it's-
ESPN. What do you think?
Yeah.
So it's like my first thing, because like when I first heard about it, I know like the day before, I thought it was already signed or like that they agreed to like $100 million deal. So like the next day coming out with the 50 million, my first thought was like, oh, it's probably like cap or something. Or I don't want to say cap, but like it just felt like, okay, why is it at the same time?
Yeah.
But then like as time went on, like I still feel like there's so many different things. Because like first things first, like the lawyer, it's the same lawyer that tried to get, I think it was like Jay-Z or somebody. It's the same lawyer. It's like this lawyer is notoriously known for targeting like successful black men with these quote unquote, like sexual assault cases, but also at the same time, but to Emmanuel's point, I still think it is weird though. Like you're 56, why are you going after like a 19-year-old nigga? Like I'm 25, I don't think I would like. Unless she's bad as fuck, I might shoot at a 19, but like 56 though, like I don't know. I just feel like that's like a little weird. So like, you know what I mean? But like, that just kind of threw me off. I think all of this would just like if men of higher power would just higher influence would just kind of like lock in, and not just higher influence. I think all men just locked in, and like we kind of were like, all right, we just settled down with like a wife. We wouldn't be going through shit like this because like why? Like if you're just lusting over these women, that's at the end of the day, that's where this all came down to, just through lust. So
literally, and Christine, the last episode, because when this whole debacle came about, I remember you talking about how we should teach young men to control their lust in the last episode, and this, I think that literally is like that's the lesson here, because I think you just let his lust get the best of him, because at this point you can be someone's grandpa. You are at the age that you can be someone's grandpa. You are a father figure. That's why it looks bad, because she's 19. You could literally not only be her dad, you could be her grandfather, literally. And so the power dynamic is just off. So even if she is exploiting you, it still looks bad. It's like now we have to give both of y'all the benefit of the doubt at this point. Because honestly, if it's my personal opinion, I do think that it looks like a shakedown. It does. It looks like it's a power, like she wants money. It looks like that. But the fact that she's just so much younger than him is disturbing. And and I don't know. So y'all let me know. Y'all talk to us and
I think
how
it could be both. It could be a shakedown, but I feel like he also had some accountability in it. From the recordings, it does sound like she's setting him up, like baiting him, but he's still saying the things, which means that he said the things before, most likely.
But it seems like if you look at the full picture, they did BDSM, like they did like the whole aggressive.
They were into that. Like
that's
some type of weird fetish.
Yeah, exactly. So it does, to me, based off that, it does look like you manipulated the situation, knowing that y'all do BDSM, knowing that y'all do the rough things.
But just because they consented to it at a point in time doesn't mean that it's always consensual.
Absolutely, but that's the thing. So, we don't know where the line stopped. So that's the thing.
But him saying like, oh, like I'm gonna choke you when I see you, big black guy chokes white woman. It's like, bro, what are you talking about?
Does that not sound like a BDSM like line?
Okay, no. Time out. Hey, we gonna respect the kink community because they ain't wilding out like that. Okay, I'm gonna say this by saying this. Okay, with that, it has to be overly. Like, it has to be overly written down. You have to know exactly what you're doing, because when it comes to like BDSM and like being in that kind of environment,
educate us again.
We gotta go to when it comes to that environment.
When it comes to BDSM,
Safe word, right?
There has to be safe words. There has to be consent, and it has to be like guided in a way where it's overly careful, because you don't want the line to ever be blurred. You want to make sure the partner that you have is safe. And when it comes to like race play, we don't really. We don't really do that. I ain't never seen no brother that like did that, but maybe he's from the South. He's a country boy that probably ain't never had white women when he was younger. No, I don't know, but that's wild. That one, you doing too much at that point.
Yeah, it was wild.
But I don't know. From his tone in the video, I could tell he probably like. First of all, there's a financial aspect which we talked about in our other episode when we talk about like you know, like how finances could create power dynamics in relationships. So I feel like because it was like a transactional relationship. Obviously, she's a young girl, so he's probably providing for her, doing things for her. From the tone in the video, he was just talking to her nonchalantly in the sense that, all right, don't piss me off, because you know, if you piss me off, this is going to happen. And she just kind of sounded defeated. Not saying that she probably didn't frame the conversation like that, but you can like record someone, but you can't make them say certain things unless, you know.
But he said big black boy chokes white. That sounds like a BDSM like line.
That's not like some like freaked out shit that they're
like,
on.
Right,
that's what it sounded like.
But outside of that, I just feel like at that age, like, okay, everybody gets older, but not everybody grows up, right? I feel like he's playing himself out of everything that he's worked hard for by making these choices in life. You have money, you can get any woman that you want. Why would you specifically deal with this type of person? Even if she's setting him up, he's still kind of at fault, because why would you even like at your status of what you have going on, what do you guys have in common?
Like you, man, y'all get to a certain age and you still like them young. You like You like the same age girls I like.
Okay, right.
When you get to a certain age,
I'm getting old, but my eyesight's still young.
Right. Okay, and with that, you gotta uphold a certain way, because you can't be old and sloppy.
You get one or the other.
Right.
Young and sloppy, or old and in shape.
Exactly. Or you're gonna get old and in shape. Women.
No. Guess you got
exactly. So
he's an old head. He knows better.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And so if he lose 50 million, that's on him, because he should have been a better steward of.
And honestly, she looked like the smart one, because she manipulated the situation in her favor.
I feel like she probably.
Wait, okay, we're alleging this, because like we can't say that she actually
allegedly seems like she kind of was like plotting on that shit for like a couple months, you know what I mean? Like getting
I guess what I'm saying is, like, no matter how it goes, like if she's telling the truth, then she deserves everything that she gets. But also, if she's lying, she looks like she's like smarter than, like, she played you, so he still looks bad no matter how it goes.
He played himself.
Yeah.
Can we acknowledge one aspect of this? Like, okay, so the age gap thing, right? It's crazy. It's insane. But there are a lot of other people, like, for example, Bill Belichick.
I was just about to think of that too.
Patriots head coach, who had a younger girl with him. I think she's like
24.
She's 24 and he's like 70.
Yeah.
But Bill Belichick is not getting accused of sexual assault and all that stuff.
So yes, that's true. But I think when people talk about, why did Shannon feel like he could do that? There's like examples of other people in probably his environment that he's in, with the other older men that he's with, where that is just so normalized to them.
Well,
and
also,
they're in such a bubble.
Bill Belichick is with a white girl. Shannon Sharpe is. There's a race factor that's playing into this. So we definitely have to talk about that.
That's crazy too.
I feel like for Shannon's whole image, though, this has definitely put a huge dent. He's an older guy. He played football. He's successful. He's done a lot of things, right? This does not look good. Like, I don't know if he's going to continue on with ESPN or what's going to happen from here, because this just looks crazy. Like, he had the whole Instagram thing with the audio dropping of him having sexual intercourse, and then now he's being accused of all these things with a 19-year-old. The whole race factor, like we just said, it just does not look good.
Do y'all think that the Michelle video, do you think that was, because people were saying how, like, they were questioning his sexuality, so people think that perhaps he made that video so that he could put the rumors to bed about his sexuality. So do y'all think that was like staged? Or do y'all think that was actually like
I think that was real.
You think that was real?
Yeah, I think that was real.
I mean, you can side eye it now. Huh? Like, you can side eye it now because you're seeing what he into right now. That's a freak boy.
Yeah. He's just a freak. I think he's just a horny dude. Like, I don't know.
Because how do you get on Instagram and go live?
I don't know how you. But like, I don't think. Like,
it takes
I don't
a lot
think
of
it's like
steps to go live.
Like, are you asking like? I don't know. I don't want to overthink it, bro. But I feel like he probably.
Did he prop it up? Did he play? Did he struggle? Did he make it on purpose? Basically, so. I don't know. I feel like he is childish. He is very childish. I think
that's tough.
I think a lot of men, we're just witnessing that, and this could be on a large scale, but even on a personal one, just how you can grow up physically, you can grow up financially, but a lot of men don't emotionally mature, and their tastes don't mature. It looks like, either, and that will ultimately be the downfall. I think of Diddy. When I think of him, I think of Diddy and just how, you're able to, or in R. Kelly, you're able to. Yep. You're able to have all these gifts, right? But at the end of the day, if you're not able to face, your traumas, if you're not able to deal with your issues, your money is just going to exemplify what your problems are because you have access to it. And the more power you have, you don't really have people, you don't have to have anyone hold you accountable, but the law is going to hold you accountable. It might take some time, but even like R. Kelly, that was decades, or P. Diddy, that took, because their money makes them more powerful to intimidate people financially, to give women less freedom to leave situations. But eventually, you're going to have your day. And I think Shannon Sharpe, unfortunately, I don't know. It seems like his day is coming closer and closer.
If you're black.
If you're black.
If you're black. If you're black.
Yeah, because there's so many white people that are doing it too, though. That's
But, I'm so okay, because we're going to talk about Shannon, but like, Diddy, R. Kelly, like.
That's different.
I mean, we saw the Epstein, he got dealt with too, but like, I feel like the magnitude of what people are doing. Because if you're dating someone who's in their 20s, okay, cool. Everybody's doing that in Hollywood. Like, no one's going to question you about that. But it's like the magnitude of like assault and things that have been going on for years with younger women. I think that is what like magnifies the issue. You know what I mean?
And I think we have to deal with issues in our community, like the black community, as the black community. I think what happens a lot of times is like, well, Epstein did it, and this person did it, and we try to compare ourselves to white people.
Either way, it's not okay.
Yeah, and it's not okay in general. Like,
and that's why we have the problem, because with patriarchy, I think a lot of black men, they model masculinity and being a man with what a white man is doing, That's the problem, and that's not freedom. We shouldn't have to aspire to becoming them. They are not perfect people. They don't have the corner of, they don't have that corner on morality. They don't have the corner of what it takes to be a man. That doesn't belong to them. I feel like we give them so much credit whenever we put our aspirations to be around what they have. What do their women look like? What are their what is their character? Period. I liked on the recent episode how Garang was talking about how a lot of men just people, like, they don't have character influencers, basically. Like, we have people that aspire to have like something financially, or they want to have something in business, but not necessarily when it comes to character. And I think that needs to be the thing, because if you don't have character, you'll make it, right? Let's say you make it. That stuff will be gone in an instant because you didn't have the character to maintain it.
And then when we model ourselves after these, like, we compare ourselves to these white men that are doing wrong, like Epstein, and we say, well, they did it and this person did it. How come we're not holding them accountable? Then it kind of forces us to, it gives this idea that we got to rally behind bad men. Like, I see this, like, oh, they're trying to take down a black man. We got to rally behind R. Kelly. We got to rally behind Bill Cosby. But why do we have to rally behind Bill Cosby for?
Because even with you saying that, also understanding, because Katt Williams and Mo'Nique came on the show and they talked to Sharpe about it during their interviews. Do y'all feel like with them, quote unquote, warning him, was that to like protect a black man from falling victim to a situation like that could happen? Or what is y'all's take on like their perspective?
I think Katt was playing in boys' place. Like, the way Katt was doing it was like, hey, I kind of know what you're doing, as if he was like telling them, like, bro, you being nasty, you being that. We know the young, like, you've been around. So for me, when I was rewatching it as a comedian, I was like, oh, that boy was playing. He even quoted Jonathan Majors, a strong-faced black man who got taken down by a white woman, and ironically,
that's crazy.
He was prophesying.
And that's crazy because, like, when I heard him say that, I didn't think anything of it because I didn't know anything. But now it's like when you rewatch it, like, that clip is like, oh, that makes sense. Like, they probably knew something that we didn't know. So that's wild.
I feel like I didn't rewatch it, but I didn't necessarily like go full into depth. I just saw like clips of the episodes. But I feel like Mo'Nique and Katt Williams are the type of people to like look out for you if you're black. They probably tried to warn them. They probably knew what was going on, and they're probably, trying to look. I feel like because they've been canceled by Hollywood too, but they have no necessarily like allegations, unlike other people.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
So I feel like they're probably trying to look out for him. Like,
Katt Williams does right by the women that he's around, because you can see that he's around a whole bunch of black women.
Yeah, for sure.
And you've never seen any allegations for Katt Williams.
Exactly.
Hello? You have worked so hard and built yourself up to this level. You should protect what you've built. Why would you choose to deal with this kind of woman knowing that you have all these things going on. You have $100 million deal on the table.
Yeah,
Like, just think about that.
And the fact that he even offered $10 million, the girl won. Like she wins.
Yeah.
Like she's about to be a millionaire.
That's what makes him look guilty too.
Right,
exactly. That's what got me.
Okay, can I offer a theory?
No, but it's like she's about to be. If you offered that, she would have been a millionaire. Even if she agreed to it, she would have been a millionaire. Like just off of that, like right then and there.
So crazy. Like imagine like
the
you
transfer of wealth,
children.
Right.
You know what I mean?
What if he's okay? So this is a theory that's out there, but this is not me. This is not me. This is not what I believe. But what if they specifically did that because somebody else is funding this and she has no way to pay for it? So she's literally getting funded by somebody else behind the scenes who's specifically going after Shannon and who's specifically been funding this the whole time to make sure that the case goes all the way through. So we can see.
They're saying the people were saying that was Shaq doing this.
I mean, I ain't saying no. I ain't gonna say that.
Allegedly, like, I saw that. I don't know. I didn't see all of it. I was kind of tired about her or something like that.
But I also have another theory to put out there is like the NFL is run like a plantation versus like the NBA, which is like slightly different, right? So you get these players who are in these environments where the NFL is not really good at, you know, letting these black men be black men and being black women, if you know what I'm getting at. And so Shannon Sharpe being in that environment since the 80s, you know, becoming a Hall of Famer and being around these same people, the same environment, seeing all these execs doing it, he's always felt like he could do it because he's been exceptional in his area. And he's like, wait, I've gotten away with it since this time. Nobody else is going to catch me now. Well, it's a new era. So I have a theory on that. That's the reason why I believe that. Like, he thought he can get away with it. And the CTE.
I mean, your theory with like the people funding it, that could be the case. But like I said, that's Shannon Sharpe not protecting himself and his assets. So it's like at the end of the day,
Dr. Umar been on his ass.
You giving them ammo against you by making stupid decisions like
Dr.
this.
Umar, my fault. That's off topic, but
go ahead, say it.
Dr. Umar, he's been wilding because his daughter.
Oh yeah, didn't she get in a fight on like y'all?
I actually fuck with Dr. Umar. Like I met him before. I was like, oh, he real, but nah, his daughter. His
he
daughter
don't
was
take
like,
care of his daughter.
Yeah, his daughter's like, he ain't been taking care of me and shit.
He said
I'm
financially he did take care of. He said child support, but she wasn't coming from that angle of like
she wants
financial. She's an
support.
adult now. She said, I want my father. She wants
a
I don't know
father
if she said
figure.
father, but she said she wants access to her sister. She wants her sister in her life, and she wanted a father figure when she was growing up. But he has another daughter, but like she doesn't have a relationship with her sister.
Yeah,
so that's what she
but
wanted.
he's also been very vocal about the Shannon Sharpe. Of course, you know, Snow Bunny's never.
That's how he gets paid. I feel like
Black woman forever. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, Snow Bunny's forever. Black woman. I don't know.
Snow Bunny's never. Black queens forever.
Yeah, there it is. And so
you sound like him when you said that.
Right. And so he's been going. He's been standing in solidarity with Shannon Sharpe. For the most part, but he has criticized his like lust and engagement with white women. And you know how Dr. Umar is. He's very much like pro-black. Like we all need to be actively trying to date one another and not transferring our wealth. And I think that's the biggest thing with Dr. Umar is like the wealth needs to stay within the black community. And I do think this is a really good example because the fact that if he would have settled, he would have been paying this girl $10 million.
He'd make her rich.
He would have made her rich.
Do you think a shock factor in it is the fact that she's white? Like if she was black, do you think that this would have made headlines as much, or she would have had that power to be like, I'm going to sue you for $50 million?
I don't even
50 million.
No, I don't even think he would settle if she was black.
Really?
I don't think he would settle if she was black. I think he settled because she was white in the optics.
Yeah.
He was ready to settle.
Well, the race
my
play
brother
aspect
always
did make
said
it.
that.
The race play
There's nothing stronger than a white woman.
Added a little
Oh,
razzle
wait, can you
dazzle.
say that again, honey?
My brother always said, Hollis always said that there's nothing stronger than a white woman's tears. That's what he's always said.
And they knew that in slavery too. They knew.
No, I'm sorry. There's no bigger weapon than a white woman's tears. Hollis always said that.
Exactly. That's why he was ready to settle.
Yeah.
And she knew that like she could get more off of him because
The
of
age,
that. Yeah.
the race play, all of the optics are just terrible.
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 We'll have to see what happens in court. But
Yes. Yeah.
generally speaking, like I pray if for the victim, because more than anything else, being put out like that, because Shannon did release her image and release the information about her because she was anonymous at first. So it's like kind of one of those things where I think that made him look way worse than I think he thought it was going to make him look. Because why are you doing that? Like fight it, say what you want to say, but like when you start to do that, it kind of makes you look like more like, okay, you're aggressively fighting this, but you're not Jay-Z, brother.
And then,
but Jay-Z did it better.
How the podcast kept dropping. I mean, he had Bow Wow on there the other day. Like he was like, "Listen,"
he said, "If
the show must go on.
If I gotta settle, I need the money." Like, hello. Okay.
So we just ignoring the elephant in the room.
Right. Crazy. Right. And I mean, I think when if the dust settles, because everything will come to wash if they go to trial. And whoever is telling the truth, may they get the justice that they deserve.
Yeah. Whoever is the victim here.
Yes. But I think if this, settles and this, blows over, he needs to move a lot better. I think this is a lesson
this
to be
should
learned
scare
from
him
him.
straight.
Yes.
He needs to change the circle, too, of friends.
Yeah.
Because
bro, you shoot it.
if I'm telling y'all what I'm doing, and if I'm doing something sideways, y'all are going to straight up check me. All y'all will. So
that's true.
Because this looks so bad.
Because it's like, what is his friend saying? What's like, does he have accountability partners? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Shannon, Bernice Borgo is 42. She looked 21.
But to add on to that, I feel like a lot of people have been, in light of Tracee Ellis's interview, they were like, why don't them two just date? Like, they're both, like, Tracee Ellis is 52, Shannon is 56. But that was like something that was trending, but also going into her interview about how she feels about dating men
her age.
Her age.
Like younger men.
Yeah, versus younger men.
But
so,
I think hers was different though. Didn't she say she like 30 something, like 20, like 40?
Yeah.
She wasn't saying she wanted like a 19-year-old.
No, of course not. Yeah, hers was definitely different. But you look at the situation that we're unfolding with Shannon Sharpe of how
But Shannon Sharpe don't want Tracee Ellis Ross.
Yeah, because she's too old.
Yeah.
Is the older women trying to shame older men into picking them? Because see, that's the competition. Older women ain't the competition with older women. It's them young ones.
Right.
It's them young ones that's coming.
Yes,
that'll do what you want.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody gonna tell me I've been dependent. I pay my bills. Right. I pay the cost to be the boss. You the boss by yourself. Them old young ones coming with it. They coming with it, Ocho.
But that's
way
the
too old.
problem.
I
think that she was also highlighting.
He did go with Eddie Murphy's ex-wife back in the day. Nicole Murphy.
Back in the day, how far?
That was
back in the day was
four or 5 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was during when he was with Skip. But like that's a prime example of like was he mature enough for these older women?
Right, and I feel like that's what Tracee Ellis was highlighting.
Yeah,
was highlighting that dealing with men at her age, and Shannon Sharpe is older than Tracee Ellis Ross.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's still acting like a young boy, and she's a grown woman, full in herself.
Yeah.
Right.
And she's talking about seeking out partnership with younger men that are more in alignment with like where she is in her life.
Often I date younger men. It's not just that I'm older. I'm also very embodied. I am a full, very whole person who knows myself, who is in charge of my life, and who lives a very full, robust life. So it's not just age, it's like life experience and sort of a difference. But I had to ask myself the question, why? Why does this keep sort of coming up other than they're hot and gorgeous? There's that. But a lot of men my age are steeped in a toxic masculinity and have been raised in a culture where there is a particular way that a relationship looks. And anything that starts to smell of that for me, I did enough of it where I was controlled and felt like I was a possession. And I have no interest in it, and I will not do it again. I have dated men my age. There is a difference. There is an openness that occurs with a younger man around whether it's gender fluidity or not even having an issue with homosexuality. I mean, something as basic as that. I have long been past the age where I feel like it's my job to teach somebody or grow them up. That I'm not interested in. So it's interesting. I mean, there's so many different philosophies on dating, and I have come up with mine.
So women are taking page out of the book and they're saying, hey, these young guys, they do be applying pressure. So women now, is that like the new wave now of like women dating younger?
And what she said, she was like, she likes younger men. And what she said, she likes younger men because they have like a new way of thinking.
Yeah.
Like they don't have like that old school, like misogynistic. That's what she said, her own words.
It's
Yes.
like a different,
Yeah. But the thing is, to be clear, she's not dating 19-year-olds.
She's not, of course, yes. That's not what she said in her interview.
Then she would be taking advantage of her
like
her
Drea.
age. Yeah. Yeah. Drea dead ass wrong. And
She
we always
is. I'm sorry. I stand on that
gotta
too.
call her out.
we gotta
too.
She's dead ass wrong.
Yeah,
she's dead ass wrong.
Yeah.
And I think to add like fuel to the fire is that she has a child that's like a year younger than
so
the
she
dude.
knows.
So I think that's even worse, but she's dead ass wrong.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
And
as a woman,
and they say that we don't hold as women don't
nah,
hold each other
we all
accountable.
know. We're not in her comments every day, but like we're like, nah, girl.
And every woman said that she was wrong. Most women said she was wrong.
But a lot of, but at the same time though, I feel like obviously she's wrong, but like I feel like I don't know what's up with these athletes. Like y'all, there's so many women out here, and y'all are going for the same ones, and y'all know like.
Can I play devil's advocate?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so like let's say you're $100 million kid, right? And the girls your age are not used to a dude that's really making that kind of money.
Yeah.
There's a veteran in the game. She's been dealing with dudes that have had that money, and that don't bother her. And she's spitting to you and talking to you in a way that you're like, hold up.
So are they like status symbols too? Because I feel like
yes, because I've seen her since I was younger. She was always on my freaking screen. I looked at her. I used to buy magazines with her on the cover. If you getting in your bag and you finally find out, like, oh,
I'm gonna go get her.
You know who's a prime example of this? Jason Momoa. Right, he used to watch what's called on a different world.
That was a beautiful manifesting.
And then he got with Lisa Bonet, and he was like, "I wanted her, and I got with the girl that I wanted." Now they divorced a couple years ago, but they had a decade-long relationship. So for me, I'm like, as a young man,
would you say from the perspective of Drea that she's like grooming him because she's 40, he's 22, so because as a woman, as if it was like a man being 40, a woman being 22, we would say like he's grooming her. Would you say, and she's had a child by him, everything. So
I think he knows what he's doing though.
Yeah. Because when I was 22, I knew not to be that dumb.
Yeah, like at 22, you're grown enough. Like I feel like he should know, like what can happen, right? Like there's a chance. I think he knows, like deep down, that there's a chance that if they are to quote unquote get married, or whatever, that she can technically like end up eventually taking up like half his money or whatever it is that like she wants out the relationship or whatever. Because she probably doesn't feel like an emotional. It's not like she's like, oh yeah, this is the man of my dreams. No, she knows that he's like a young nigga out of Houston making $100 million at 22.
But is that like grooming though? Like from her perspective, you know what I'm saying? Like,
nah, because I feel like you,
especially knowing that she's been around people that have made $100 million over, you know.
I don't know, like what's grooming? How do y'all define grooming?
Like she knows that he's young, so she can manipulate the situation to get what she wants. Yeah, training him.
Because when I was, you can manipulate an older woman by just giving her some good,
Yeah, and like,
okay. I was speaking in this situation.
In the situation,
like, Dre already got kids.
But there are 21-year-olds, 22-year-olds that can manipulate them at the same time. That are in the same industry. That are 21, they'll get pregnant. 18, they'll get pregnant with him. That specifically are going after him because they're just gold digging, right? Yeah. But it's the same thing, different ages. It really doesn't matter because at the same time, when you have $100 million, everyone's coming for your money.
Exactly. I was about to say like the gold like that type of woman. I'm not saying Dre specifically, but like when a woman is a gold digger, it doesn't matter whether she's 21 or 41. Regardless, if she's coming for your money, she's coming for your money. So I think Jalen Green just obviously like the people in his circle probably told him what it was and. He's a grown man. He's going to make a decision. So
that makes sense.
Fair.
Speaking of money, I think this is a good segue into having Holly give us some budgeting and finance tips. Holly is the most.
So you don't get groomed.
So you don't get groomed.
That is a crazy segue.
Wow, that was smooth.
Protect your money.
We were talking about Shannon Sharpe and his allegations, but speaking about budgeting.
And managing your money.
Okay. Yes. So
Holly is, first of all, the most frugal person. Like she is so good with money, and since the beginning of when I've known you, like not in a bad way, in a good way.
I know. Just
she made me realize that I wasn't doing a good job of managing my money and like telling my money where to go. And she's been at it since like high school, college. High school. So yeah, we would love to have you kind of give us some tips on how you kind of manage, budget, save. Like you create like savings for different things and you think ahead. That's the most thing I got from you is that you always plan ahead.
And we were going to title this Black Girl Budgeting. The whole entire concept and idea was for us to kind of learn better tips and tricks on how to save our money, use our money, and just make our money like go further. And that's why we wanted to have you on here. I know Holly was like, don't make me an expert. I'm not an expert.
Girl to girl.
Yes. But we know Holly. We literally have been friends with. I've been friends with her for a long time, but y'all grew up with her.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so
That's our girl.
yeah, so
My name is Holly, Miss Honey Holly. So first off, I'm not a financial advisor. So everything that I'm gonna be talking about is just what I personally have done. So it's up to you if you want to do anything like that. But for me, I think from what I've heard from like a lot of like my friends, family, is that it's just hard to like start. And I think that you should start wherever you're at to like build wealth. And so it doesn't matter where you work at, how much money you make. So like if you make $10 an hour, you know, $100,000 a year, whatever it is, just figure out, like, write down all of your what I do is I write down all my bills, and then I write down how much money I have coming in. And then from that, I literally go line by line, and I just write down how much everything costs, and basically try to get everything to zero. So even for a line item, I put down savings, or so I have like evergreen funds. So like Christmas, I save for Christmas literally all for 12 months. Like right after Christmas ends, I'm starting to save up again. And so that way, you know, I'm actually by the time in 12 months, I'll have $500, $600, $1,000, whatever it is, it'll be there. That's one of the most expensive things, actually, I think, for everyone, for the most part. Yeah, gifts and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, just start where you're at, create a budget. I always every quarter, I would say I like to go through all of my bills and try to reduce them. So whether that means a cell phone bill going from, you know, $70 to $50, your internet bill going from $80 to $50, something like that. I literally always go through and just try to save my money. So that's a big thing that I do. And then those little bitty savings, it really adds up throughout the whole entire year. So yeah. And then also I would say, don't be afraid to say no to your friends. And so I actually had to have, I don't know if y'all remember this conversation. This was like years ago. When I saved my first $10,000, and I was only making like $15 an hour, something like that. And I had to have a conversation with you guys. I was like, hey, y'all, I can't do, what was it, like brunch? I can't do brunches and stuff like that. Because, you know, that's expensive. That can be like $60 and up and stuff. So just have a conversation with your friends. But then, like I said, that I can go out for free at nighttime because, like, the club and stuff like that.
That's right.
You know, men will buy the drink, so it's like cool. But yeah, just just really having a budget. Y'all not buying drinks?
Yeah, think about it.
You're not gonna buy the drinks?
Huh? No, yo, you're right. Like we wasn't buy the drinks. I said, damn, it must be nice to get it free. Like,
Yeah.
myself, like,
It is.
Gay club.
Gay club.
These days, we don't even get in free anymore.
Right,
That was
right.
back in the day.
Right.
But yeah, I would just say to do that's what I did. And then even when you have money, you have to tell yourself you don't have money, so you don't spend the money. And so because like I said, my first $10,000 I saved, it was hard to say no to things and not to do, you know, different things. When I see my bank account, I'm like, oh, I got money. But it's like, no, Holly, you don't have the money right now because you're focusing on saving that $10K to invest in real estate or invest into other things or whatever. So,
And you
I think
saved that
that's really-
10,000K with making $15
yeah.
an hour, right?
Yeah, an hour, yeah.
So
Yeah, it was a lot.
that's
Yeah.
incredible.
And
Yeah, thank you.
you taught me that, like, there is a way. You're just not willing to sacrifice.
Yep.
Yes.
To do it.
Yeah, you
So
have
that's
to.
what I learned from you.
Yeah.
Yeah, sacrifice, be uncomfortable. And that's the thing. So I'd rather be uncomfortable right now than like at 50 years old or something and I'm broke and, you know, just struggling, you know.
Yeah.
So
How did you develop that mindset, though? Like, what made you be like, I'm going to figure out how to manage my money? Because that's something that we're not taught in school.
Yeah. Honestly, no one taught me that. It was just growing up, my living situations growing up, you know, my mom, she struggled financially and stuff. So I just saw that side and I knew I didn't want that. And so that's when I just started saving up my money.
Yeah.
And actually when I first started, I did the what's it called? The envelope method. That's what
remember you
literally
told
I
me
first
about.
started with
Yeah.
that, but I didn't even know it was a method. It just made sense to me. I just
What's
literally
the
started
envelope
writing stuff
method?
down.
What's the envelope method?
It's basically you just write down each of
All your expenses,
all
and
your
stuff. Oh,
expenses,
okay.
things like that, and then you put money into it every single time you get paid. And so and then you stack up. And then also I think I was talking to Janet about this today, is that once I paid off my car note, or my car, it was like, I think it was like, let's just say it was $300, but it was like $330. And after I paid it off, most people be like, oh, I got extra $300 in my bank account. But it's like, no, to me, I'm like, no, I don't have an extra $300.
Yep.
And I just put that money, I continue to pay my car note and just put the money to the side in my savings account. And I just continue to stack. So just not having a spending mindset. You have to think of
I love that.
saving, but not just saving. You have to save for a purpose, like save to invest, you know? And so that's just kind of what I do.
No, and I think
amazing.
Go
And I
ahead,
want-
go ahead.
Well, I love how you saved $10,000 because I saw somewhere how like people need to like saving $10,000 is good because like let's say there's an emergency, like if you lose a job, something like it's good to keep you afloat. So I think it was cool how you said you saved $10,000 because that's something that can help people a lot when they are in a situation where they need that. So
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
There was I don't know exactly how many months it is, but I was telling Janet today actually that I forgot what the number is, but you need to have at least like 6 months of savings in your like 6 months of savings. I forgot what number is, whether it's like 9 months or 10 months or whatever, but it's minimum 6 months because I was telling Janet again today, like some people, a lot of us are one paycheck away from being homeless.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of people live from paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
Right?
And I want to give you your flowers, Holly, because I know you said you're not a financial advisor, but you're like our financial advisor.
Yeah.
And one thing that I took from you, even like over the last like year and us having these conversations was even when I got my like raise this past year, I didn't even, my mind was like, I got a raise because I listened to you. In my mind, I was like, okay, this is not money, that's mine. So that automatically goes to my high yield savings account because I know that from what you've told me, you know what I'm saying? Like I've learned from that. And I just want to give you your flowers because within our friend group, I know we like be like, okay, what would Holly do in this situation, right? And like really looking towards our future. And I feel like just in our community in general, like finances is something that we need to talk about more.
Yeah.
And we need to like create an open space to where it's not so daunting and feel like we have to be struggling or sacrificing things in a, like a larger scale in order to like get what we want in life.
Right.
Yeah.
So I just want to give you your flowers for just being that like sounding voice for us in our friend group.
Yes.
And I am looking forward to your budgeting videos on
Yes.
TikTok.
Yes.
And
Yes.
want to let you know that I'm one of your first students.
Yes.
That have
Thank you.
learned
And
from
I'm
one
gonna
of
be
your
the second
methods.
one.
Yes.
And that's why we wanted you here because I do think that your voice is valuable. I know you're so humble. You're like, oh girl, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, your voice is very valuable. It's very practical advice because I think a lot of the financial advice we hear is like, it's so up here. It's like, you know, it's like, okay, like that's nice, but I'm not even there yet. But you
Yeah.
give like real life practical advice. Like you could just, instead of getting like the regular chips, get great value. You know, like I'm like, you know what?
They're made in the
I can
same
do
factory.
that. Right. I'm like, I can do that. Or instead of going to the club this week, do this. Or instead of doing that, like certain
Go to the
things-
happy hour.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
very practical everyday advice that I think a lot of people can take from that. And then also you still live your life. And I think
Oh,
that's
I have
what
a great time.
love.
Yeah.
You just came back from Spain.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
a great
Yeah.
time. Yeah,
Yeah.
I will say also that like definitely treat yourself because you know if you want nice things or whatever, cool. I will say that mostly everything like of what everyone has on, it always goes on sale at least one time a year, at least once a year. And so I'll say this like whenever let's just say like a cell phone, if I want a phone or something. So let's just say it's $1,000. I want it by December or whatever amount of months. So get the dollar amount and then divide up how many let's just say you get paid once a month or whatever. But divide up how many checks you get until that goal. And so then you just save like, okay, well, I'll just save, $200 a month or whatever, 200. So then in like 5 months or whatever it is, then I'll be able to afford my cell phone or whatever thing you're trying to buy. And so that way, it's not like you're just pulling out a stack like $1,000 or $2,000 all at once, but you're literally budgeting up for that item. And with iPhones, by that time, it may be the new one that's coming out anyway. So
discount.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we definitely want to have this conversation in depth. And
maybe we do a follow-up live.
Yes.
For another episode.
Yeah. So let us know what you guys want. We can do a full episode on budgeting for Black girls or Black people in general, because I think we haven't learned any of these things, and we can start there. Thank you so much, Holly, for your advice. Again, we are not financial experts. Holly made sure she was like, let them know we are not financial, because we can get sued. Yeah,
yeah,
get sued.
Yeah,
we can get sued.
Yeah,
but we are not financial experts, but we do want to give practical advice on what we do on a day-to-day basis. And Holly, thank you so much for your
thank you for
advice.
having me.
Of course.
Thank you to the guys as well.
Thank you guys. Oh yeah, this is the full episode.
The whole panel. Yeah,
I'm forgetting. Go ahead, Kristen. Can you close us out?
Thank you so much for our whole panel. I can't even.
Family. We family.
Thank you so much to the whole family panel.
Yes.
Everyone who's here today. Y'all, please plug yourselves so that people can know where to follow y'all. This was a good conversation.
It was really good. And I'm so excited to expand on budgeting, because we already have our side conversations, but I feel like the information that you have will be great for the masses. So y'all definitely tap into Holly. She is a gem, and I love her so much. So thank you.
Yes.
But you can find me on all social media platforms. My first and last name, Janita Corkin. And great episode as usual.
Yes.
Thank you guys.
My social media, my Instagram and my TikTok is MoneyManDan214. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you
a
can
rich
find
and
me.
comedian.
A rich and comedian. Yeah, I do all that. I got my mortgage license too.
Oh, come on, mortgage license.
Yeah, so I might come in one day and help, like, show some, you know what I mean? Just like give like a little advice or whatever.
Please.
Building houses.
Yeah, like trying to like help people buy their first house or whatever. Just tell them like what they like a realistic, you know what I mean? I could pull up one day and do that.
Christine does real estate,
so that would be
Yeah.
Oh, for real? Oh,
Yeah, we definitely will link up for
perfect.
sure. And I work
Yeah.
with Sudanese and South Sudanese people,
Yeah.
so
Yes,
I think
that'd
it'll
be
be
spending.
good. They like to work with people who kind of
Their own
from similar
community.
culture
I
that
agree.
understand them.
I
So
agree
yeah.
with you.
Oh yeah, Amanual _comedy on Instagram, and everything else is at Amanual.
Vaida at Vaida Joe on Instagram.
Miss Honey Holly on all platforms. MSHONEYHOLLY.
And yes, and we are the Ladies of Sosa. If you're listening to us on audio, make sure you rate us 5 stars, leave a comment, and
Like, comment, share, subscribe. Catch you guys in the
catch
next
you
episode.
next episode. I'm sorry, I like threw you off.